Malaysia twice.
And that is so true. Like doing it back to back is a different ball game altogether. You win it once, it's fine. Like it can be something Malaysia was not prepared for, but doing it on the second day as well and with a bigger scoreline too, that makes a
Yes.
humongous of a result. But now we know the adaptability of both these nations. Yesterday, when Danial was struggling against team, he made some tactical changes, took his entire 2 to 3 minutes to figure out what he needs to do,
Yep.
got the changes on his feet, and got his result. And similar things can be said for Malaysians as well. They faced a similar fate. They made some tactical changes during the game, and they made sure that they get a victory against Indonesians to get till here. So all in all, it is a complete equalized matchup. And the best part about this is whoever wins this match, it is not going to be a rest day for them. You have to constantly win the games ahead to make your way to the grand finale.
Yes, you basically have three proper matches and multiple legs in between all of that as well. If I'm not wrong, even the grand finals, or rather the lower bracket finals, will be, it should be a three-leg match as well. You'll eventually confirm that. But, ladies and gentlemen, having a look at the squad of India, no changes whatsoever. Patrick Vieira for the defensive line, Ronaldo and Pele for the offensive line, with Eden Hazard, who's going to be on the left mid to left wing plays. Perlo moves in from the center mid. He's the attacking midfielder. Ruben Diaz for the defense. Romario, he always comes in at the clutch to help out Ronaldo with those passes. We've also got Alexander Arnold. We haven't really seen the best use case scenario for Alexander Arnold, because we know that this man is known for his pace as well. But all the other duties, he's able to fulfill all of that perfectly.
That is true. Like he's not giving that big of a play time as well at the same point. So
Yep.
TAA is like being used but very situationally. But something that I noticed with India is that we used Amado Onana in the midfield in the playoffs. So that change was something very different which I didn't expect. And then Curtis Jones coming in instead of Eduardo Camavinga in certain games. So that is also something which Daniel is still um, messing things up with the squad, changing things around, and for a fact, it has worked in his favor. But at the same
I
time, I want to look how Malaysia are there to counter us for the day.
It's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo yet again in the front lines, Patrick Vieira and Araujo for the defense. So, again, no changes out there in key players. This is exactly what they've used previously as well with Kaka. He'll be playing in for that support too. Kante, he brings him quite a lot. Snyder is, again, someone which we'll have to be careful about, including Romney. We did see even yesterday Romney being used in, I believe, either in the game of Japan or it was probably in the game of Indonesia. And yes, there were a lot of problems with us when it came to dealing with that man.
Oh yeah, but again, like if we talk about the overall scenario where the tactical changes have to be concerned, because at this point, all I'm thinking right now is what type of formation that Malaysians are going to bring in. Yesterday we saw a diamond shape formation from multiple teams, and it did work out. And keeping in mind that Malaysia has faced us twice and hard counter, and we have struggled against Japan with a five back. With the lineup that Malaysians are running, it is a possibility that they might go for something similar too.
I still feel that it was only one game in which we really struggled. Like, yes, it was a lot of goals being scored by Japan, and I'm pretty sure that they were playing long ball counter because they were constantly going in for those through balls right from mid. So that was the part where I feel Daniel was struggling in terms of that adjustment and adaptation. But apart from that, I think he himself was able to bring everything back under control, right? Things were going haywire, but he was finally able to calm his nerves down and then bring himself back in that second leg itself in the game of Japan. The only thing was that yes, there were a lot of goals scored from the side of Japan already in the first leg. That's why we could not make that comeback. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that that could have also gone in for that third golden goal, which we normally saw from those previous few teams. But on the other end of the spectrum, yes, you cannot underestimate Malaysia whatsoever, and you cannot use the same things that you previously did against this lineup. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a lot of pauses in the games too, a lot of changes from both of these sides because, as you have rightly mentioned, it's a do or die situation. And it's going to be very crucial for us to win this one out if we want to stand a chance at lifting that trophy of the regional qualifiers. Same goes for Malaysia as well, ladies and gentlemen, as the first leg will begin pretty soon, Spartas. What are your expectations?
I'm expecting somewhere very close but a high scoring game from both the teams. A 5-4 in India's favor. But let's see if our expectations turn into reality. How the match will go, how will Mbappe prep against Daniel. We'll find all that out right after a very short break. And we are back into the action, and there we have it. The lower bracket semi-finale where India we take on the mighty Malaysians. We have already defeated them twice in the group stages, but now it is where it matters the most. You win this game, you go up ahead in the lower finale. India in the blue kit already attacking inside the box. Romario finds Pele and we are on to a perfect start and takes the shot. First goal, first shot attempted. 7 minutes into the first half. Team India, we take the lead already. What a way to begin things off. And Romario on the wings, and then to Pele, and then the cutback to get inside. Well, this is something that I don't think the Malaysians have expected, but Danial, he is so good on the attacking side of things. Just playing with the opposition's mind, going back, then turning quickly on the left foot of Pele, one of the greatest player to ever touch the ball. But now we lead the scoreline 1-0. Let's see how things will go ahead from here. Because just like group stages, we look in a hard shot form against this team. Ardu and Nana just marking the midfield here. Gravenberch getting the pass down. CR7, but Eden Hazard doing his defensive duties was mistimed the pass. Back to Patrick Vieira. CR7 twisting and turning. Parjik Song. Diogo Forlan. Could have been an opportunity, but no. Has been cleared as of now. And with Stanisic will try to build up another counter attack where Pele will not be able to get the touch on the ball. Mickey Van de Ven on the wings. Turning inside. CR7 and what a Trivela. A perfect 180 turn, and that Trivela, I don't think the keeper had any chance to go to the bottom of the ground so quickly. And the Malaysians, 10 minutes more, it was all they needed to get the scoreline to level terms.
I mean, if you've got Danial starting off pretty heavy, firing on all cylinders, then Malaysia will answer back this time. That's probably one of those first few times we've conceded this against Malaysia. Again, a lovely pass into CR7 and then one trick move all the way to try and finish things off with a Trivela into the back of the net. I almost thought that this one shot would be pretty difficult now because Ronaldo was being pressed off by a defender. You can clearly see the position, but that one extra move over towards the right, that's what created that small opening. That's exactly what Cristiano Ronaldo always needs. Right now we're going to be changing a few more things out here in terms of what's going to happen. 4-3-1-2. That's the formation out here. Again, pretty centralized as we normally think about it, right? We're not really seeing the same exact 4-2-2-2 or technically 4-4 formation out here coming in from this man. And I've been liking it because this has been a bit more aggressive, helps him take control in the field in the center.
But at this point, Mickey Van de Ven, he takes control of the ball, just using his body to shove off Romario. Yeah. And with the pace of the game right now, things look pretty slow and controlled from both the sides. No one is rushing the attacks, they are taking their time for the build-up. Because both the players know at this point, no mistakes are allowed whatsoever. A simple mistake can knock you out of the tournament, especially when you are so close to entering the grand finale of the FIFA E-World Cup region qualifiers.
Lovely steal coming in from Saliba on the other side this time around though. So right now it's going to be Romario. What a lovely
wow!
Absolutely beautiful. Impeccable placement at that point, and it's going to be Pele who scores the second one of the evening. What a through ball from Danial. Man, just an extra second is all he needed. And what a beautiful run it was.
Oh man, Pele just passing is so perfect, and then Romario, the link up between both these players. Romario completely knowing what Pele is about to do, running on the shoulder of the defender, and then the first time shot. No chance for the opposition whatsoever, and we take the lead yet again.
Beautiful way now. And you can clearly see again, this time around it's going to be a bit more defensive coming in from India. I like the idea of what Danial is doing. Not really fully rushing it down over towards the attack, so he's going to be sending all of his defenders in those positions where every single passing lane has been blocked, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Onana is going to be moving up, holding for a second. Cristiano Ronaldo, a play from the wing, right in the center too, but he moves a little bit too far forward. Saliba, again is able to shut this one attack down, and there's a counter chance on the other side, but a lovely way to block both the passing lanes out here, make it 3 as Vanderven eventually takes this one off. It's a link up. Romario cannot really keep this one. Vanderven is not really the player who can make those kind of insanely good passes. You need some pretty solid midfielder out there.
Also at the same time, like Romario winning the header against Saliba on the red offside, pretty big ask, to be honest. But now with the passes from the side of Malaysian, they are threatening the box, but a mistimed pass from Parjisong and no mistakes from our backline. Just clears the ball off, and now a counter is on the way with the triple striker formation running ahead. But before we can do anything, the first half coming to a close. 2-1 the scoreline. The game is completely open, and the number of opportunities both the players are making, it is humongous.
One out here. And if you really think about it again, 4-3-1-2, that's the main formation coming in from Danial. But on the other side, we had a glimpse of what Malaysians are running. It's again the same 4-2-2-2 out there. So that's again, if you really think about it, normally it was Danial who was countering the formation of that he is technically using right now with the formation that Malaysia is using. So if you really think about that, Malaysia should have an advantage out there. That's not really what's happening out here right now. All the players a bit more defensive. As soon as the kickoff is there, it's not really moving a bit too far ahead, making sure that all the passing lanes are blocked forward.
And that's such a good defense there. We know we have a compact backline of 4 and then a front 3 just marking the centre back and the spaces left behind. The wing play is pretty much lacking because we are playing a diamond, but the attacking threat from the middle can be pretty daunting. And now we are just trying to implement those type of runs, and we will find Romario in the process. CR7 making a run, has to hold the ball for a little longer. He will cut back inside. Romario takes the shot. A perfect opportunity arrived, and the perfect striker to nail it home as well. The Brazilian, he gives us another goal and another advantage into the making. 3-1 is what we lead with.
I'm just absolutely loving the celebration. I have no clue what that is, but I'm enjoying it.
For reference, that's an F1 car driving super fast.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I had no clue about that. Not an F1 fan out here, but I'm an absolute big fan of what Danial is doing. Look at that phenomenal cutback. And you know, I think so throughout the group stages, he was constantly putting in those headers for the players who were inside the box, regardless of who they were. If Cristiano Ronaldo was there or not, sometimes even Pele was there. I have no clue how he was able to win those headers, but all of that used to happen, right? So now he's leaning a bit more towards those cutbacks, and I'd have to say it's been working out fantastically for him. And also brings in a small change out here. Bebito is going to be brought in, so the attacking midfielder is going to be changed out. Again, I like the idea. He's got the time right now. Doesn't really want to entirely exhaust all of his players and wants some fresh faces on the board.
Well, and he's doing at a perfect time as well. 60-minute marker has been touched, so we know with the lead we have, we can always outgrow the opponent at this point. Number of goals can be scored since now Mbappe also knows he have to go aggressive. It is a double leg tie, so aggregate scoreline will matter, but also keeping in mind that if the first leg is humongous enough, the second leg all you have to do is just sit back, relax and do nothing. So Mbappe, he has to take some more risk now, and the more risk you take, the more open your defensive line gets.
And that is exactly what right now Danial is focusing on, right? Through over towards the left. Bebito is their fresh player, wanted to go for a through, but yeah, that could have been another goal into the making, but not really working out. Stanisic is controlling the ball. Should be passed towards that centre back now. Back in the centre. All right. 1-2 passes. Single touch. Opening. Romario has got that. But it was a bit of a bait set about here. Not being bait. Eden Hazard wants to send it back. Cut back. That's a tackle from Romario. Didn't really end up being a goal out on the other side. Defender was there. So still Mbappe. He's in this. He's still got time, I'd have to say.
But no space since Patrick Vieira is just standing in the middle of the park. No space given whatsoever. Although a very ambitious lob through ball there. Could not find anybody on the end, and Gigi Buffon trying to set up a counter. Paji Song in the process find Ryan Gravenberch. Fallan trying to go ahead, and when the van he's just shadow marking him, and now Bebeto misses his marker. Paji Song running inside, but Onana steals the ball back, a counter attack yet again from the E-Tiger, and Romario is running down the wing, finds Stanisic in the process, crossing it inside, but Ryan Gravenberch, he still stops the process.
Very centralized attack coming in from the side of Malaysians, and guess what? This formation is pretty good in stopping those centralized attacks. So a lovely play coming in from Danial. Right now, it's going to be sending it through, though. I thought it's going to go in towards the left wing. I thought it was Bebeto who will collect it, but he sent it for Hazard. The power was a little bit extra on that one, so could not win it, but doesn't matter. Now wins the header. Still an opportunity. A lofted through. Hazard should collect it and will absolutely score it as well. A 4-1 as India lead in the first leg.
It is phenomenal right now. Just look at that steal. Wins the header, immediately goes ahead, and then a lob through pass. And Eden Hazard making a perfect run at the perfect time. It is so beautiful to witness. 4-1 up, we are in complete control, and it looks like that Malaysians, they were good in the year 2024. But this time around, there is no competition.
At least for Daniel, yeah, this man's going to be absolutely insane now. So few changes as well. It's going to make sure all of the new fresh players are going to be moved on to that chopping block on the other side too. So no opportunity whatsoever for Malaysians to try and bring this one back, man. This seems very difficult for him right now. And not just for this one game. I'm also thinking for the next leg, because you don't really just have to score 3. If you want to win, you've got to score 4. And that's a big task if you think about it. Yes, Daniel was able to score himself, so this should be possible, but I don't feel that way, man.
Well, the thing is that the number of opportunities that Malaysians are trying to make, they're all getting nullified before they can enter the final third. The ball getting stolen from the mid, and now Van Basten, just look at him, he's trying to find the pass inside, but this time it should be off, I believe. That's a very early run.
That's a big off.
And yep, that's a big off. This is what I'm talking about. They cannot enter the final third.
And not at least before putting it into the offside. So yeah, big problems. Now for Gravenberch, Kaka is going to be brought in. Marco Van Basten comes in instead of Fallen. He's also put out Cristiano Ronaldo outside now. Romney's going to be moving up, and that's going to be a big run though. Lovely last touch tackle from Daniel. Just made sure that he will not let the ball pass on through up ahead. 90 plus 4 extra added time. Salah sends the header, not really perfect, low in power, so it's going to be sent all the way back. But Stanisic, not the perfect pass, but still it's going to be kept in by Daniel. There's not a lot of space now that he can work with, but it doesn't matter. It's only 1 more minute remaining. This is the last attack, which will be stopped as India will have the lead of 3 goals in this first leg. 4-1, as everything stays exactly as it was.
100% conversion, I would say, from both the teams at this point.
Yeah.
4 shots, 4 on target, 4 goals scored for the E-Tiger, whereas Malaysians, they had just one opportunity with a Ronaldo chop inside the box and a Trivela to the ground. But that was about it. Other than that, a complete compact defensive backline, and the Malaysians, they could not ever get past it.
That's one of the big things, right? They wanted to go in for a centralized attack. They were trying to make their through plays from the center. I did not really see a proper perfect utilization from those wingers, right? And that's why you could also see Stanisic as even when they were moving in a little bit more towards that center, just to hold down that one part so that no throughs go. And I think so that is a big learning curve coming in by Daniel from yesterday's game of, the first one with the Japan, right, where every single through was going in. So I absolutely love the fact how he was able to take this one game away, aggregate 4-1 right now, but still, the job is only half done.
That is true. One more leg has to be played, and this leg will be a decisive one at this point. Because you win this, you go ahead. And then you have to face the loser from Thailand and Japan. That will be an interesting one, since both these teams in the Group A, they were phenomenal. Thailand is yet to face a defeat, whereas Japan, they have already defeated us once. So both those opponents will be a crazy one, but all that will happen after the second leg comes to a close. We lead the scoreline 4-1, so there is nothing wrong that can go in the second leg, right?
That's the question which you are asking me right now. But yeah, I think so it should be fine. The confidence is already sky high for Daniel. Yes, it was crushed yesterday after that one game, but he was able to pull himself back too. So It's all absolutely cool, picture perfect, ladies and gentlemen. One more leg remains for this game. What's going to happen in that? We will find that out after this short break. Do not go anywhere.
to today's match.
And after the domination in the first leg, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with the FIFA eFootball regional qualifiers featuring a mobile out here. We are in the lower bracket. And it's the matchup between Malaysia taking on India. 1-0 in favor of India with a 4-1 aggregate right now in the first leg. What's going to happen in the second? We will see it right now. Spartans, a few changes in the formation is probably what it needs to be for Malaysia to try and win the ball forward.
That is so true. And during the break, we were discussing that what Malaysian tactical changes could look like, but by the look of things, I really don't think they have made some changes. It is still a 4-2-2, still trying to get some wingers down the line. But as for India, we are doing a similar central attacking midfielders to the Mizs. Stanisic, although he loses the ball in a very dangerous position there, has a throw in and he hits it directly onto the faces of the Malaysian player. But now Ole Romioni trying to build up an attack and a perfect pass for Ferdinand, and he takes a shot, but he hits the post. The luck is in our favor as of now. We barely survive.
For a few seconds out there right now, ball did not really settle down in the legs of that attacker. And out now, there's a possibility for a big counter-attack on the other side. Pele still controls the ball for a few more seconds as it moves on to the right wing. Perlo is the one who eventually controls it, will send it back. Stanisic running in for the full back out here. Will help the team out a little bit, but guess what? Patrick Vieira is controlling it as it's sent back all the way to Buffon.
Nervy movements.
Yeah, it's pretty nervy, I'd have to say. Interesting that even the keeper is being involved for the passing lanes.
And that pass to Buffon was just trying to survive at this point. Because if that pass were intercepted by the attacker, that has been a clear 1v1 for the Malaysian squad and an opportunity for them to make a comeback. But now, they are trying to build up from the back. Ryan Gravenberch finds the ball to Ole Romioni. Now he's trying to dribble inside, but the thing is, the attackers are completely marked and they are not getting space. But Diego Forlan, he builds up from the scratch, makes a perfect run and anticipated through there. And Forlan, the man from Uruguay, takes the ball home. The first goal in the back of the net. The aggregate score line have been narrowed down to just 2-goal advantage to the eTiger.
And to be honest, Daniel hasn't really had any proper chance in terms of those attacks. It's constantly been a proper domination coming in from Malaysia. And there's been a few changes that's happened, that's for sure, because now the players are running way too quickly for the ball in the mid. I think so, yes, he's going to lose a lot of stamina on the players for acting it down in mid, but at the same time, if it helps you win out in those attacks, that's exactly what you need. There's two attackers now playing all the way out, right? Everyone else playing back, so it's more or less for a chance for the counter plays that the Malaysian is actually looking forward to right now. Pele is going to send it through all the way forward. Lovely tackle by Van der Ven. Eventually stopping that attack from coming through. This could have very well be another goal coming in for India. Not really going to be the case. Onana brought in. Van der Ven eventually playing in as the fullback for the team right now. It's going to be sent in center. It was a chance for a cutback, but eventually stolen away. Onana sends it back to Perlo. Onana now Hazard. A through ball for Ronaldo as it backs in the net. Lovely shot coming in and a beautiful build-up by Danial to equalize the scoreline.
Perfect near post bullet from CR7. What a strike! A perfect interception starting with Onana in the midfield, stealing the ball away, and then a 1-2 passes with Eden Hazard back to CR7, back to Hazard, and then to CR7. So quick passes and a powerful strike. There is no chance for any keeper in the world to stop that. Near post strikes are generally blocked, but with a venomous power that CR7 can generate, it is a rocket. And with that, we take the lead yet again in the aggregate scoreline 5-2.
Big lead coming in, which you rightly mentioned. And at the same time, you just have to make sure that you've got equalized scoreline in this one. It's not necessary to win out with a big margin or anything. And that's exactly what Daniel is constantly doing. Oh my goodness, that interception was there with a finesse in the back of the net. Holy smokes, what's happening in this game? And that's the second one that Fallen has scored. Be it an up close and personal one where he eventually received that one-touch pass from the left striker, or be it from right outside the penalty box. Fallen can do everything.
And Thiago Forlan, this guy is crazy. One inside the box, a perfect run, and then a finish as well. And the thing is, this came right from the kickoff. So whatever advantage was created has been shut down. Although, on the aggregate, we still have a +2 in our favor. But that +2 for an entire half to be played is not big of a difference, especially for a team like Malaysia. Now we know that we have to just up our game, especially in the defense, since some rookie mistakes have been made and they have been capitalized this time around. But now CR7 on the attack yet again, trying to touch the ball down, but has been blocked. And Thiago Forlan, the nightmare, he is still running down the wing.
Oh, Romney's got a chance now. It's going to be towards Gravenberch, but eventually stolen. An attack that needed to be fizzled out in order for India to survive right now. We've got a big advantage in terms of possession, right? But it still is a big play, I'd have to say, over in towards that attacking side, which is working out for the Malaysian. And that's kind of giving me the same nightmares of the stuff that happened in the Japanese game. Because one of those attacks was exactly like that.
Kind of, yes. But at the very same time, Japan had a very, I would say, counter through ball strategy against us. They were sitting back deep, 10 players legend inside their box, and one guy just running on the through passes. But that's not the case with Malaysia. They are intercepting, they are pressing high, they are winning the ball in dangerous areas. They are playing good, positive football right now, and it is giving them results too.
And to be honest, yes, the second one, I would still have to say it was a bit unfortunate for Danial, because he was there to intercept the pass, but it just eventually fell down in the legs of Fallen. Another last touch defense comes into play, so the attack will finally fizzle out. Another through ball. This one could be big right now. Pele makes this run. Van der Ven with the physicality. Oh, almost tried to steal away as Pele slid down to go for that pass though, but will still be intercepted on the other side. That could have been the equalizer in this one. But it still is Malaysia who are now controlling the pace as Gravenberch steals another pass away.
And this looks really end-to-end. And this is the type of semi-finale that we want to witness in the lower brackets. Both the teams are neck to neck. India still have a +2 advantage, but these blocks, man, our attacking powers have been shut down by Araujo and then Patrick Vieira and then Grant Gravenberch. Everybody just stealing the ball away. And on the other side of things, Malaysian, they are dribbling inside. Oleomioni finds another pass, but Patrick Vieira, a good interception, and now on to another counter.
Van der Ven sending it. Pele, he's going to make the run for it. Van der Ven on the other side will be there though. The shot cancelled just to try and find some line. But eventually the gap was closed up by the keeper, who stood there as Pele kept on moving towards him. And a counter on the other side. Romney is going to be brought in, and a beautiful way to finish things off. Malaysia 3, India 1. And the deficit only remains of 1 goal now.
Oh man, these quick counters. We have to score that opportunity, but we are on the losing side of things on that attack. Patrick Vieira left his line trying to press the ball, and then a through pass on behind him, and Patrick Vieira with a bad positioning led us to this goal. A quick counter from the Malaysian side, and now the score are looking pretty much closer. Like just 1 goal advantage still what we have, and the attack that Malaysia are taking, they are looking ruthless with that.
It's just perfect anticipations of where the pass is going to land and then eventual transition into that attack. That is what we've been seeing consistently from Malaysian side. So I am liking the play that they're making, right? In the previous one, they were not able to focus on their defense that well. They were creating a lot of opportunities through mid, and you clearly mentioned that with the formation that we are running with, it's very centralized. You have to run that triangle up in front. But on the other end of the spectrum, now since it's being defended well, we don't really have a lot of leeway to work around with when it comes to our own defense as well. Every player has been running up in front to try and help the strikers out to open a few more lanes. But defense line, it should not get thin whatsoever. And this is not the pass that you're supposed to give. Cristiano Ronaldo controls the ball, sends it through as Stanisic holds it for the last second. Bebito will be collecting this one. That could have been a disaster for Danial, eventually fizzling out.
Oh man, it is getting out of hand at this point. Just look at that attack, and another one thread. Perfect one, and the score has been equalized. Danial He's having a hard time in the back lines. The quick counters, the pressing, nothing is working out for Team India. 4-1 is the aggregate. Or rather, this match scoreline and aggregate have been matched up with 5-5. And things are getting out of hands, and it is just because of one man. That Patrick Vieira is trying to press so high up that is creating a void in the back lines. If he just maintained his position, nothing of that sort would have happened in the last 3 goals.
That's something that needs to be dealt with properly and very quickly. But it's exactly as you mentioned, now we're finally changing a few more things up. This is the crucial moment. You cannot let this lead slip through any further right now. And man, Malaysia never really thought they'd be able to make this one come back, but seems like they are the ones who never really want to let us live easy, right? They just want to make things difficult for India whatsoever. And right now, that's exactly what's happening out here. Pebito's got a chance though. Oh, lovely triple!
Wow!
Yes, that could have been the shot that we needed. But it's now going to be sent in on the other side.
Such a powerful, brilliant strike, but the luck is not in our favor this time around. But what a pass to CR7. A Trivela, a cricketer inside, takes a power shot, has been blocked, but no, has been stolen away. And this time, Patrick Vieira finally performing his duties. Clears the rebound, and now an opportunity for a counter-attack. Lautaro Martinez, he needs to find the attacking midfielder, and he will. Bebeto, he has a chance for a cross. Running inside, across, anticipated, dealt with inside. With the +2 on the clock ticking to 91.54. We take the lead with Marcus Thuram. A perfect attack in the making. The attacking brute force strikes yet again, and Danial, he is not going out.
Absolutely not out here. What a way to score that final one. The full back line entirely open. And look at that. Thuram decided he's not going to go in for that header. He just had his feet high up in the air to push this one into the net. Lovely play. And you mentioned about that counter, right? And that's exactly what Danial was able to do out here. Massive. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we saw the celebration as well happening. And Shubhank, we knew that, yes, it has happened now. The goal is there. But the big thing is, you've got to go full play back. I mean, put all the 11 players back inside the goal. Just do not let...
Just like yesterday. Another similar situation. 5 to 10 seconds is all that remains. Or rather, like, it's a +3, right? So, yeah, a minute and a 10 seconds. So, less than 90 seconds is what Malaysians have for the kickoff. You defenders, you go ahead. It will be a perfect matchup, and we are through. Another game, another sort of comeback from the Malaysian side, but we will strike back. Another victory in the backpack, and the year 2025 has been completely in India's favor when it comes to facing the Malaysian squad. 3-0 against them. Faced them thrice, all 3 turned into victories.
But it's been closer and closer in every other game out here right now, I'd have to say, right? The first one was domination, the second one a little bit close, the third one neck to neck in the second leg. We eventually lost that one 4-2, but it's absolutely fine. The aggregate is what matters eventually. It's a 6-5 aggregate, so yes, Danial able to win this one. And fun fact is, Pardus, guess who we are facing now in the lower bracket?
That is the mighty people from Thailand. Undefeated in the groups, undefeated till the upper bracket finale, and then got crashed out by none other than Japanese. A squad which defeated us in the earlier stages of the game, and now defeating Thailand to make their way to the grand finale. And in the lower finals, it is going to be Thailand against India. Both the teams had never faced each other in the entire tournament till now, and what a perfect time to face each other.
Absolutely. It was an impeccable time, I'd have to say. Just, again, you know, whenever it came down to the second game, the way how Malaysians were making that comeback, that was the most crucial one. And, again, you know the victory is not that fun until and unless it's a close game right now. And that's exactly what happened. 6-5 was the scoreline. A big play coming in from India overall out here, winning this one out. So, that's exactly what we needed. But Now we've got to face Thailand, so that's going to be very crucial too.
And it will be a very, very interesting and difficult game at the very same time. Let's see how things will go from here. But the main part about it is that this lower final, oh, I'm not sure what to make of it. Since if you look at the upper final scoreline, 4-2 in the favor of Japan, so Thailand have been conceding a lot more goals, but at the very same time, similar things can be said for us. Because the last leg against Malaysia, it was a very nerve-wracking game.
Second leg was the big one, which you rightly mentioned. Yes, as that was the main part where we conceded 3 consecutive back-to-back goals. And after that, we were finally able to break through that deadlock. But to be honest, I think so. Danial over towards the end eventually realized the things that he needed to do, the problems that he was facing. So he was able to fix a few of them over towards that later part of the second half. And I think so that adaptation will eventually help him out to play in the next leg as well against Thailand. So it is going to be pretty close. It is going to be, on, I'd have to say again, nerve-wracking for both of these teams. But I think so we actually have a chance.
I do believe in Daniel at this point. The mental composure this guy has at such a young age, it is crazy. Knowing that you have a +3 advantage when moving into second leg and then blowing that advantage and still keeping the nerves to make a complete comeback, that is so phenomenal. The final attack, the last ditch defense, everything was just seconds into the making. And if he missed that opportunity, things would have been very different, since you have to play a golden goal. And golden goals are so of a coin flip. But he made sure that nothing of that sort of that happens. But now, India versus Thailand, and I just want to look what squad Thailand are running at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that as well. But you know what? I think so we can kind of keep it for the later as well. I think so we're going to be throwing it to a very short break pretty soon. But yeah, I know both the squads, it's going to look pretty close. It's going to be nerve-wracking. Formations are going to be pretty fun. We'll be finding all of that out right here soon though. But one thing is for sure, man, that we eventually faced one of the strongest teams out here from the upper bracket, and that was Japan, as they moved on into the grand finals itself. So I don't think so Thailand is going to be that big of a problem.
Well, I'm not sure, like, we are talking about Thailand, one of the finest teams, but whatever will be the case, we will find that out how the lower bracket match will go. It is a lower finale. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The lower bracket final. Here it begins. The mighty Thailands, the undefeated in the group stage. They are down in a hot and short form. But we Indians are trying to survive. Getting the last minute equalizers to winners has been our storyline till now. But this time around, we need a clean victory over this mighty squad. Let's see how Danial and our eTiger will perform in this match. And by look of things, he is looking for an aggressive start.
Big one already, but again that attack eventually fizzled out. On the other side though, a pretty wide pass all the way towards that right wing. Did not really go through. The one touch coming in. Romario sends it back to Hazard on the left one. Will be taken away. The header coming in from the defender towards that right wing. Absolutely perfect on the other side as Dumfries now wanted to push forward. Playing in as the fullback for the team at the same time now. It's going to be an attack being made in from Mayor Romario on the other end. Lovely tackle at the last second. It's going to be taken instantly as we can have a chance of counter.
Wow, man. End-to-end football from both the teams. Quick counters, quick one-touch passes, skill moves, everything in the mix. And good defending this time around from Danial. Last time, Patrick Vieira was overcommitting a lot and created so many gaps at the back line. But this time, he is keeping to his ground, blocks the far post shot, and the near post shot is covered by a goalkeeper. Good defense. Although Thailand, they already look pretty good on the attacking side.
It's going to be a big one out here. Thailand looking good on the attacking side, but Daniel is also looking pretty solid in that defense. Isn't really giving any major opportunities on the other end to try and win for those scores. This corner could be big, but it's got Rodri selected. Lovely anticipation on Perlo. Understanding that maybe they want to try and go for a short corner. Another through out. Cristiano Ronaldo can't really take it, so VVD is going to pass it to Ruud Gullit. Intercepted instantly. Onana sends it to Hazard. Didn't really work out. Nakamura Shinsuke controlling the.
He's dancing in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
he's like,
as long as there's no one approaching him, he's fine.
He's like, yeah, you don't come to me, I don't come to you. A peace treaty has been signed, but not from Pele. He's running down inside the box. A near port fake could be away, but a rebound. Is it a goal kick or a corner? We'll find that out. But a good strike from Pele. So close. Could have tried across, maybe on the far post. Where the angles were completely blocked. The Thailand are having a crazy line of defense as well as the attack. A pretty balanced structure from their end too. Gattuso, men marking our attackers. But now, a corner. Not has been pretty successful with those in the past. But Perlo, he might whip one in.
Okay, it's a full power. Wanted to send out it towards the close angle. Didn't really work out. Patrick Vieira at the edge of the box. Pele's got the empty chance, but eventually the rebound almost going for us. Tackled by Pele, but he went in for a pass to Ronaldo. That could have been the chance to score. But Daniel did not realize in the conundrum that was happening there. Now another chance. Cristiano Ronaldo still can't really push out forward. Virgil van Dijk.
Wow.
All of his chances out there, and the double press is impeccable. Lovely defense.
Just clear the ball. That's the idea from Thailand, and they are doing it phenomenally well. Just look at them. 4 players at the back line, 4 in the center of the pitch, and then the double strikers pressing the centre backs so that they can't keep the possession. So beautifully done from Thailand, but Daniel, he is phenomenal as well. And now he gets inside the box, across, a touchdown, but nah. He gave that pass to the centre mid and not to the far post. But oh man,
Yeah.
could have been our opening into the game. But that player lock, but that pass didn't went through.
That one, it should have gone to Cristiano Ronaldo, I agree. Perlo still got a chance right now. Pele wants to make a run. It's going to be a lofted through. Romario is going to be the man right at the edge of the first half. No extra time to be added out here as India 0, Thailand 0.
Man, this could have been it. We could have taken the shot, and oh my. These two chances that India had, man, there is nothing wrong which Daniel did. Thailand are just pressing too good. Because the amount of space you get inside the box is barely millimeters at this point. A touch and then you have to take a shot, and that's a very bad angle, bad posture from Romario. You have to just dribble in, and by the time you dribble in, the defender has already nudged on your back. So the timing from the Thailand defense, it is perfect.
So going absolutely on point, which you rightly mentioned. Right now. Shinsuke Nakamura sending it to Sesko. Oh my god, a bad pass. Eventually rebounded back to us, and there could be a chance for a maybe through, but last tackle again coming in at the right point. We're not really getting any kind of counter chance on the other end.
But now it's an opportunity.
Yeah, there
Oh.
could be a chance now.
Perlo needs to get on the edge of it, but Nuno Mendes, man, this guy is too quick for the defense. We had a counter-attacking opportunities thrice back-to-back. But the thing is, the final pass, the obvious pass was always blocked and he was not able to turn around. And in the meanwhile, a counter-attack unleashed from the wing play and Dumfries. Perfect cross and Sesko inside the box. The tall guy, the handsome striker, takes the header down and Thailand, they break the deadlock.
That was a big one again. Hullet collecting this ball and then running back inside. For a second I thought, and also probably Danial thought, that maybe his defender was able to take that one. But yeah, it was Hullet to eventually control it. And then a lovely set for that header. Beautifully placed, perfect power. Eventually Thailand finding that opening. It's a 5 men in the back line.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe that could be the case, since they have just faced Japan and could be a page from their book. But
Yeah,
if you look at the minimap there, I still want to figure that out at this point, because I still believe it has to be a 4 backs the way they are moving in. Yeah, it is a 5 back. Van Dijk is there in the center of the pitch, and there is still one more left back, and Onana is well down the mix with CDM2. This is not looking good. This is a formation that has defeated us in the past. Something that I guess Thailand has studied from the game against Japan.
Oh.
But now CR7 inside the box. Can cut back, but Van Dijk winning the ball. CR7 almost in for the cutback, but nah, man. Microseconds is what is making the difference.
Exactly. And yeah, it's rightly as you mentioned, is that, 5 back lineup, and both of his, you could say, left back and right back, they're playing as wing backs. So they're running down the pitch entirely for a long way. And that eventually makes it seem like it's 3 people in the back line, and there's a lot more support and passing opportunities in the attacking side. And you mentioned how eventually you can break that diamond formation, specifically in the defense, when there are 3 extra people out here. You either put a cam who's going in aggressively, so that creates a more passing angle. Another chance, send out your left back, right back for the full wing backs, and guess what? Now you've got 2 more people to worry about. And I think so that has been working out well for Thailand till now.
Yeah, and I guess now is on Daniel's side to break this around. He has to turn things up, because at this point you cannot play wide and you have to go a lot more passes through the center. You have to drag your strikers back, make the 1-2 passes with the cam, and that's the only way forward, because those 3 CBs with those wing backs, the entirety of the pitch will be controlled. But the best part is we have faced similar type of structure against Japan, and in the second game we were able to break it down. It was just that the first goal, or rather the first leg advantage, was too much to deal with. But in the second game we were back even against the Japanese side. I'm guessing the same can happen against the Thailand side too.
It could. I want to point out one thing on the back of that right now. The first shot
Whoa.
fake by Bebeto. It was a bit ambitious, I'd have to say, but it's going to be a corner for Danial. Now here's the big thing. Yes, we were able to make that comeback against the Japanese lineup, but let's be brutally honest. The Japanese were up by 4-0, and then they scored the first one, so it was technically a 5-0. And then we were able to get those couple of goals in. Japan was not entirely focused on offense. They were mostly focused on the defense. That's why we got those opportunities. So,
And what is this?
oh my goodness.
A goalkeeper has 2 CBs, like a sneak peek of that tactical analysis, and oh my mind is blown. I think this is the first time I've seen something like that.
It's like
A goalkeeper with 2 centre backs, and then 1 centre back in the front, and then 2 wing backs on the side. A crown at the back. Generally, this crown is there at the last final third of the pitch, where you have striker, left mid, right mids, and double CMs.
that's
But that
more
crown
of the
is on the back line, so this is something which is going to be really hard to break at this point, since it is so deep to break it down. And I'm not sure what Daniel is going to do up next.
At this point, again, if you really think about it, you know that those left back and right back are going to lose a lot of stamina, constantly running down the pitch every single time, right? So I think so in terms of those when it comes down to those substitutions and the later part of the game, that's when we'll probably have some opportunities, when the players themselves will start to make those mistakes, when their passes will not have as much power as they're supposed to have. That again totally depends, unless we eventually have Thailand bringing in some fresh left back, right back out here. Right now, Onana wanted to go in for the close corner. Doesn't matter. Buffon was able to save this one. I think so in those next 15 minutes of time that we've got left, that is where India can make this comeback.
It has to be true, but at the very same time, from the tactical perspective, our centre mids are the pivotal players in this matchup. Since they are the ones who will make late runs inside the box, and they are the ones who will get a lot of space inside the box. Long range efforts from the edge or centre mids. This is what we have to eye out for. From the back lines, just cover the wings. Middle will have a lot more players to clear the ball out, and it should be cleared by now.
Yeah, perfect.
But now CR7 has to win this, but oh man, so many defenders on his head. Too difficult to keep the position.
Yeah, DeMarco is correct, continuing the ball. The dribble is good, though will be stolen away by Stanisic. Wins it that one. Instantly changes the part of the field. Right now it's going to be sent back in the centre. Bebito, there's a chance for the play with the through, but doesn't matter. It's again controlled. Hold on. Thuram reaches that. There's an opportunity to send it back. Oh, he wanted to go for the same play again, just like he did in the last game. But it's 90+2 now. The last chance for the corner. Last opportunity. The power is going to be made in. It will be right in the center, but will be cleared up. Stanisic at the edge of the box. Bebito controls it, turns around, moves in. He's got some space to work with. Passes for the cutback. Kamavinga wants to go for the shot, but will be blocked by the defender. Danial almost cooking that up perfectly, brilliantly, but just closed the oven a little bit too soon.
Man, those two centre backs that are shadowing the goalkeeper have been a nuisance right now. Because the amount of blocks these guys are creating is humongous. And that's the reason I said your centre mids will play the most important role in the entire game now. Because those two CBs will not get intercepted by the strikers at all. They will always shadow the strikers. They will always mark the final pass inside the box.
Fair.
You have to take a strike from the edge of the 6 yard, and that has to be it. Bebeto, Romario, these two guys for the long range finesse can be a game plan. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that you cannot push so many people ahead, because the 5 back is lethal on the counters too.
Exactly.
Those wing backs to across is what Thailand was able to score in the first half. Although that's a good thing that only one goal has been scored, the match is still fairly tied up, and we all know the winner of this match will go to the grand finals of the regional qualifier.
This is one of the biggest things, right? You mentioned that it's still just one goal deficit. Thailand, in the previous few games, they were conceding a lot, but they were also scoring pretty decently. And if you think about it, India has been one of the most aggressive teams out here, and one of the most goal-scoring teams out here in the entire league in the group stages. Yes, really go our way when it went to those playoffs, but still fine. We were still on top of our game, and right now this is the best time for Danial to pull it up, because as you rightly mentioned, this one game will mean that we are moving forward in the grand finals of the regional qualifier. Just one game is what you need. 2 goals are all you need to shoot. Yeah, you can't really let that one more concede. It's something it's going to put a bit of pressure onto him, but I think so he'd be able to handle this one right now.
Well, he should be, since knowing how crazy comebacks he has made in the past.
Yeah.
Indonesian game, 90th minute, stoppage time, he scores a crazy cricketer finesse.
Yeah.
Last match against Malaysia are on the hot streak, scoring 4 goals in the second half. Then again in the stoppage time, we take the lead yet again. Danial has been playing like peak Real Madrid. It's not over until it's over. He has that mentality and the never dying attitude. Yeah. He is doing it phenomenally well. And against Thailand, I still have high hopes that we will make it to the last match of the regional qualifiers.
Hopefully, man. I'm really hoping for the same. Right? And you rightly mentioned, he's also running with the exact impact Real Madrid had at that time. But man, oh man, all of that, it's going to happen in the next game, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, it's only the first leg that's been over. Thailand 1, India 0. Will Danial make that comeback in the second one, or will we see Thailand going in for a rematch against Japan? That all we'll find that out in the second leg after the short break. Don't go anywhere.
And the second leg, it begins. We trail by 1-2-0 against the mighty Thailand. A crazy defensive structure where the centre backs are sitting right next to the goalkeeper. But in the second leg, a start from their end, and now Team India is on the breakthrough. A wing-back overlap could be the case. Pele has to take a perfect touch, but no, man. These CBs are giving us a really hard time. This deep line of defense looks like a crazy wall yet to be broken down.
Shots from outside the
Eden
box.
Hazard.
Yeah. Shots from outside the box is what we need now. Hazard, he's going to push it forward.
Mistimed. But again, Romario, he will be there, just marking all those throw-in options. Good press. A long ball has been initiated. Rodri needs to finish against Hulid, but to be honest, winning it against Hulid is a nightmare in itself. And Hulid, he is a nightmare in disguise. Takes a finesse. And the man from the Netherlands, the Dutch, strikes back. He played as a centre mid in the first leg and now a secondary striker in the second. Perfect run, perfect physicality. Rodri and Patrick Vieira stood no chance in blocking him off. Head down, 1-2 pass. Perfectly finding the secondary striker, and just look at that physicality. Touch, croqueta, finesse. A thing of beauty from Ruud Gullit. And now we trail by 2-0. Nothing is going in our favor at this point. We still need 2 goals to make it a draw. But by the look of things, it is the Thailand who are dominating the game.
Absolutely. And again, bit of confusion happening out here. Sesko is still going to win that header. My goodness, things not looking good as Nuno Mendes eventually moving all the way up. And look at where Dumfries is, all the way crossing towards the mid. Van de Ven will finally find that last ditch tackle on Nana, almost trying to steal it away as this one goes in for a through, but doesn't matter. Gattuso will be there to try and help Peter Schmeichel collect it. It's a 3-goal deficit right now. India needs 3 to try and even tie this one up, let alone if we're talking about winning. As Dumfries passing it back to Hullet, Perlo. It's eventually going to be stolen away. Pele, he's going to carry it through ball. Perfect. This is beautiful. That's exactly what you need, as Ronaldo will not score the goal. Constantly pressed by the centre back, and it goes outside.
How did he scuff that chance? Had an opportunity at least 2 seconds back. CR7 wanted to drive even more inside the box, narrowing down his own angle. And by the look of things, the pressure is surmounting, I believe.
Yes.
Danial is not able to perform the way he generally is. And by no doubt, Thailand, they are a crazy, crazy side. A team with the most points in the first group stage. And now in the lower final, they are doing good, but not so well this time around. Finally, a cutback has been found, and CR7 redeems himself. Brings 1 goal back. 2 more to go. And an ample of half remaining. We can still make it to a draw.
Can absolutely be the case. With this kind of play, yes, there is a chance. We're seeing a lot more counters now being built up from the side of India. Thailand, both the defenders being beat properly. And even Peter Schmeichel could not stop that one from Ronaldo. I thought it's going to be a bit more difficult out, but eventually worked out well. I'm pretty sure that that's still going to be a little bit more attacking play coming in from the side of Danial. You need 2 more goals right now. Cristiano Ronaldo instantly stealing this one away. Will send it back to Perlo. Onana will also help in build up of that attack right now. The pass. Pele should be able to collect it easily. Gives another through. Hazard turns around. Takes a second.
Oh my.
But it was stopped in by the keeper. The shot did not have enough power, I believe.
But turning 180 to take a strike is always a difficult one for any player in the world. An ambitious one, and had no space to turn around, but this time there is space to find Pele yet again. A through pass, but Patrick Vieira takes his time, clears the ball out. Thailand 3, India 1 is the scoreline. And aggregate is the advantageous word for Team Thailand right now, because we still need 2 goals to make it on level terms.
2 goals to equalize that. That's the big thing, right? Yes, in the previous one, things did not really go in our way, but right now there's a big possibility where we can potentially at least equalize that, man. It's difficult, but I can see those chances being created. There was one which Ronaldo needed to put in. As you rightly mentioned, it was a few extra seconds which were taken by Ronaldo to try and take that away. Otherwise, this one should have been a one-goal game, but doesn't matter. Thailand are just going to play one specific thing. Play all the players inside the penalty box. Make sure that you're defending through to Ronaldo. Not enough power, so Virgil van Dijk will pick this one up.
Now, Mickey van de Ven has the ball, crosses Onana. Kill the tempo first and then strike may be the case, but Ruud Gullit has lost the ball, and for some reason we are finding Stanisic instead of Pele. But whatever the case is, we are trying to drive inside the box, and Polo, he have a chance for a finesse. He goes for a Trivela, has been blocked. So many bodies in front of him, so less of an area to take a strike. But again, Romario twisting, turning, losing the ball. But this time Eden Hazard has to go and track back, because a counter is on the making. And Ruud Gullit, he is using his presence to unleash Nuno Mendes for a perfect through ball. And now Ruud Gullit inside the box, twisting, turning, crosses inside, has been cleared.
You want to make sure that your centre-backs are eventually marking down the player after they're somewhere around that penalty box. That's the only thing which we'll eventually see. And that's the main part out here, man. I know that at this point it becomes pretty difficult to try and defend against this kind of counter.
Yes.
But Danial needs to keep his defensive game on point. Now, there's absolutely no second chances from here on now. You need one more goal instantly, and then you have to build it up towards the later parts of the game so that there's a mistake being forced from the side of Thailand, and then you score another one. Otherwise, I'm not really seeing any way for him to make this comeback. Yes, you got to kill the tempo, but at the same time, you kind of have to give that fake reassurance to Thailand that they can go for the counter, only to steal the ball away and then have that big chance when both those fullback players have been all the way up ahead. That's when you can find the opening with three of those centre backs when they are tracking back.
Well, so many things to do and so little time remaining for Team India. 66 minutes already up, and Ruud Gullit finds Nuno Mendes of overlapping wing back. Ruud Gullit, cricketer, finesse has been blocked. Kamavinga goes with the ball, finds Bebeto. Mo Salah can unleash another counter, and yes, a 2v1, but Bebeto mistouches it. Leaves the ball, and now Stanisic, he has to clear it yet again, and we have to recycle. But this time the clock is ticking fast, and these passes are not accurate as they should be. But now Park Ji-sung has the ball, finds Dumfries, and just look at Thailand. They are killing the clock at this point. They are slowing our tempo down. They know the Team India are knocking on the door. So what they need to do is just make them stay away from it. Don't give them the possession, and this is what they are trying. Final 10 minutes plus stoppage time is what remains, and we need to find an opening. Lautaro Martinez has the ball, trying to find the final pass, dribbling through. Bebeto takes a shot. We send the ball home. The second goal has arrived. Team India just one goal away from drawing on aggregate level terms.
After 83 minutes is number 25, Bebeto.
Oh. Oh man, this is one of the situations where Team India are now in a desperate situation. We need to score a goal. We need to make sure that at least in the last 8 minutes plus stoppage time is what we have. We can create 3 to 4 chances and convert at least one of them.
Yes.
Oh, this is a very, very nervous situation. In the second leg, the score has been equalized, but now the first goal deficit is what we need to turn around.
It's only that first game one goal that's eventually hurting us at this point. And the big thing is that it's only 8 more in-game minutes remaining. That means just a few seconds for you to try and steal that ball and then create a counter-attack. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be ultra-defensive for the side of Thailand right now. They want to keep this one goal lead whatsoever. Not really looking for any kind of cheeky play happening on the other side. So yeah, it's going to be an all-out attack for Daniel. At this point, just make sure that your wing backs are also pushing all the way up front, because you need a lot of passing angles to try and get some of your extra men up in front to relieve the pressure off of the striker that he's facing right now constantly because of those three centre backs. So we'll have to wait and see if that eventually happens. I kind of want to see. I love the fact how we brought in that extra midfielder as well to create some more passing angles this time around. That is what created the opportunity for Bebeto.
When I'm loving the tactical play from Daniel, because overall this is how you are supposed to play against a 5-back, against someone who's playing deep down. Because if you look at the formation, it's a 5-4-1, and 5-4-1s are ruthless when it comes to defensive duties. And Thailand, they are just killing the clock again. They have the possession, lobbing high up in the air. Rodri finds to Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira lobs the ball high up in the air, needs to win the header. Bebeto, one touch pass, twisting, turning, cross inside. Bebeto needs to steal it away, but nah, man. How can he hold the ball for a little longer? Would have been different, but
What a
now
counter.
Pakistan. Buffon should be able to clear it. Yeah, he will. But now Salah wins the ball, but Kamavinga, one of the best centre mids, has to find Mo Salah. The last ditch attack. Mo Salah running down inside, but the clock has clicked. We drew in the second leg, but the first leg deficit was too big to be turned around.
Yeah.
A similar fate has been faced yet again, just like against Japan. An unfortunate loss and our journey in the regional qualifiers comes to an end, with Thailand going for a rematch against the mighty Japanese.
I'd have to say it was a nice attempt coming in, right? It's absolutely fine. This run was pretty difficult for him to make up until this point, but yes, there's a bigger picture now that's eventually left which you need to tackle on with. So that's something I'm really loving from Daniel. It is totally okay as to the loss that he's faced. It's fine. There's still a few things that he needs to tweak. A lot of, I wouldn't exactly say silly mistakes, but some of those mishaps in the defense when he was trying to play his own style of defense with a very different type of defensive structure. There were quite a few of those mistakes that were happening. And on the back of that, Malaysia was able to score a lot of goals too. And I think so that also hindered his confidence a little bit.
And that is true, but I'm not sure about the confidence side of things, but more like 5-backs are a nightmare. That is
True.
what it is. The thing is, we have made our way to Riyadh, we have made our way to the FIFA World Cup international stage, and that is a big thing, where
Yes.
teams from all across the globe will be there. And keeping in mind, in 2024, when we were up on the stage, we made it to the top 4 in the entire world.
Yes.
We were in the semi-finals against Malaysia, and Malaysia went to win the entire championship.
Yep.
This time, we have defeated the mighty Malaysians. Thailand, Japan, they are a strong side, yes, but the biggest reason is the formation that they are running. Not the way they are playing, but
Yeah.
that 5 at the back, that code has to be cracked. And with ample of time between this tournament and Riyadh, the time frame is, I want to say, what we have to break down the 5 at the backs. We need a strategy for those teams, because if we break that strategy down, if we have the key to unlock those 5 at the back defenders, we will surely lift the trophy, because Daniel, he is a crazy of a player.
I absolutely agree with the experience that this lad has had. He has proven himself on that global stage. So I'm on view with this one, right? Yes, it's fine. 5-back, the only, you could say, the kryptonite of Daniel right now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, yes, as you rightly mentioned, we've got a pretty decent amount of time remaining for the world. So he will be able to fix that up. He'll be able to set everything up back in the motion right now as we, yes, an unfortunate loss, but it's still fine, right? Even in the regionals, he is still in the top 3. So it's not that bad of a thing. It's absolutely okay. Some things don't really go in your own favor, right? If that one goal from Ronaldo was not messed up, maybe we would have been playing another game right now for that tie break of the golden goal, but it's totally fine. Thailand, India, 3-2. Thailand will move forward in the grand finals to face Japan one more time, the only team that eventually pushed them all the way down. So it's totally cool right now. All our lad needs to do is keep and lift his face high and move forward for the biggest stage.
He has been phenomenal, man, and he deserves all the love and the support that he has shown a performance at the world stage, I believe. Because even in Oceania and the Asia region, the type of performances he is delivering, it is phenomenal. The game against Indonesia has been pretty crazy. Last seconds and he makes a comeback. The game against Malaysia was on the similar par. last few seconds into the match and he makes another comeback. We know what this guy is capable of. This lad can definitely bring the esports trophy, the eFootball trophy to our nation. And I do believe that with the time frame between the Worlds and this tournament, he will surely crack down how to break that big back line. Because once he do that, there is no way and no player in the world who can stop him.
Absolutely. We already have 4 teams that eventually qualified there. Malaysia, India, Thailand, and Japan. All of these will represent the Asian Oceania region. So yes, it's going to be an absolute new adventure for that man. There's a lot of time remaining, which you've rightly mentioned as well. And as much as we've been constantly talking about the teams who are going to Riyadh, I also want to bring the attention a little bit back towards the ones we eventually faced out here, right, in the group stages itself. Lot of teams with a very good amount of competition, specifically since we started from the Group B. Hong Kong, Korea being the only other team to have had that one big game against India where they won 4-3 and handed us the only loss in the group stage. I wanted to see a bit of a more run from that team, but it's absolutely fine. They tried their best as well. It was totally okay. We also had Vietnam, right, who was pretty close in terms of that leaderboard too. They could have also made it to the playoffs. So I did like what those teams were doing. New Zealand and Guam on the other end. Yes, these two are the teams and regions that I now want to see develop a little bit.
That is so true. But region qualifiers of the FIFA E-World Cup featuring eFootball Mobile has been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy set of performances, new players coming into the mix, and Danial showing his consistent nature and a true warrior spirit. But with that being said, he has made it to the top 4. He will make his way to Riyadh, but that will happen later in the year. Regional qualifiers has come to an end from our side, but the match against Thailand and Japan will go on. So if you want to watch that, make sure to tune in for that too. But for today, we will just end this things up. Myself, Shubhang, join me, was scared. We'll see you in another match.